Joe Mancuso, and you're going to spend 10 minutes with me on a topic that's been my favorite topic for 40 years, how to write a winning business plan. I'm making 6 video cassettes, each 10 minutes long, on the topics relevant to home-based business. My good friend Beryl Walk, W-O-L-K, and I would suggest you Google Beryl, B-E-R-Y-L, Walk, W-O-L-K, because he is the source of the best information I've ever seen on home-based businesses, and he has terrific websites and resources for you. This topic of writing business plans, starting businesses, financing business was my long suit 33 years ago, and I wrote 26 books. I sold several million copies of those books, and my longest and best-selling book I've got here, How to Write a Winning Business Plan. And this book, among all my 26, outsold them all, sold over 1 million copies, still sells today. But I'm not here selling books or talking to you about buying any of my material. I'm here because Beryl said that today, with the unemployment rate in the United States at 10%, actually 20%, he says, just terrific opportunity for people to do things at home and avoid the process of looking for jobs. And I said, it makes a lot of sense. And he asked me to do a sequence of these videos, which he's going to put on his various websites to be helpful. My long suit on the topic is the one called How to Write a Winning Business Plan. The bad news is, in 10 minutes in this little video, I'm not going to give you a lot of help. But I am going to give you 2 right quick resources to go to. My website is called ceoclubs.org. In 1977, I took the money I made with all these books and information, and I put it into a nonprofit foundation for CEOs, and today we have several thousand members in the United States, several thousand overseas, mostly in China. And the average company size among those companies is about $20 million of annual sales. And I've gotten out of the business of helping people do business plans, raise money, start businesses for 30 years. So I've sort of come out of retirement in honor of my 82-year-old friend Beryl Walk. He's still working 24/7. I sure admire him, and I think if I could be 82 years old and going as strong as him, I'd take it as a guarantee and give some people some help. So what I would suggest you do to get real help on this narrow topic, write a business plan. And I think I wrote 2 books on this topic, How to Prepare and Present a Business Plan, and the bestseller was How to Write a Winning Business Plan. And my other material you're going to hear about on the other tapes, how to borrow money, how to start a business, how to buy a business with very little cash, family business, and you'll see the topics here. I even have a China picture book about our activities at CEO Club in China. When you go to my website, there's 2 things you're going to find that are practical and helpful. Actually, there are 3, but 2 quick practical ideas. One, I have a 1-hour audio cassette just giving you 10 tips on writing a plan. If you listen to those 10 tips, your plan will be better. Second, I have a 27-page article. All of this is free, that you can read. It's kind of a synopsis of my approach to business plan writing. And I think that material will be real helpful. And don't kid yourself when you start a home-based business by saying, oh, I don't need a business plan. I'm so damn smart, I can just go out and do it. Well, a business plan is, think of a business plan like giving someone directions of what you're going to go do or say, go from here to here. You know, if I was going from Manhattan, where I live, to Los Angeles, and I wanted to know how to get there, I would need a business plan to get there, known as directions. If you're going to build a home, you get a set of blueprints. It's just a lot easier to make mistakes on paper where your pencil has an eraser than to try and do it in open public so people can see the stupid mistakes you make and what you do. You know, when you have a business plan written as as a document. And it says that you're going to take 6 months to do this, and you're going to need $14,711. And then you come and reread that business plan in the 6th month, and you see whether you've done what you said you're going to do on paper, whether you really turn cash flow positive with 14,600 some odd dollars, or it took more or less. You sort of get a gauge on what your abilities are, how good your idea is. Is it really the best opportunity? You know, most businesses fail. Home-based businesses fail at an even greater rate. So why not increase your chances of succeeding by beginning by writing a business plan? You know, if the banker or the venture capitalist or your friend insist before they give you money that you have a business plan, why shouldn't you say and make the same demand of yourself, that you have to be disciplined enough to write a business plan? And don't make that classic mistake. Someone says, do you have a business plan? And you say, no, no, I do, yes I do, but it's a mini business plan. You know, I've always said a mini business plan is the figment of an overworked entrepreneur's imagination. It's kind of like Santa Claus. It just plain doesn't exist. You know, if I'm going from New York to Los Angeles and I give you directions to go, leave Manhattan and go through the Holland Tunnel, pick up the Jersey Turnpike, that's not going to get you to Los Angeles. You need a full document with all the sequential information in it. And don't be frightened that you're not a good writer or a bright student or academically genius. Really, the business plan is the first step in the tool of how to get your business successful. If you're successful in writing the plan, it improves your odds on succeeding in the business. And I'd say don't go buying one of these software packages. The worst thing you can do to help you write a business plan has a drop-down menu, you know, restaurant, real estate, software, you know, import, export. That's just absolutely the wrong approach. If you really want to write a business plan, my suggestion is always read a dozen other people's business plans, even if they're in unrelated businesses, because it gives you the help to understand what you need to put into the document to give it life and meaning. It's kind of, think of it like a piece of art. An artist is going to create a great picture. You know, first of all, he's not going to do it with a paint by the numbers kit where you put the red in the number 2 and the blue in the number 3. But an artist is going to visit, I live in Manhattan, Soho area. You're going to walk around Soho and look at all the art galleries and see what other artists are creating. And that's why I suggest you look at other people's business plans. In my various books, I've got 3 in this book, How to Prepare and Present. I've got 3 in How to Write a Winning. I've got 3 in the book, How to Start, Finance, and Manage. And in every library, there are 50 books with business plans, samples, tables of contents. I've got some terrific checklists on my web, and all of that stuff is free. It's open to you. In fact, I've even got samples of business plans that you could read on that website, but there are better websites for preparing it. My main argument to you is do on paper, which you don't have to do in person, and prepare a business plan with the reader in mind, not with your own needs. And look at other people's plans so you get a full and complete document. If you can get yourself a business plan written and get a home-based business started, we can take the unemployment rate in this country from the 10% they say it is, it's actually 20%, because another 10% of the people just gave up looking for jobs. And we can keep that entrepreneurial dream, the American dream going here. This still is the greatest place in the world to start, finance, and manage your own small